different languages.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and that was something else. Like Kobe is another one. Like that had he really had his. I just had to gain respect for him because it's never been like so much of a huge fan of Kobe, but he definitely earned respect from me.
Yeah.
In his game and the way he carried himself and the way he was just like so focused. You know what I'm saying? There were players who got mad at Kobe because of the way he would handle things. Like in particular, I'm pretty sure you remember hearing the scandal about Dwight, because at first you remember Dwight was with the Lakers when Kobe at one time was at the Lakers, and it was in the news because Dwight had some personal stuff going on, and Kobe was basically like they was in the news because Kobe was basically like, move forward, like we got a game to play, and that was just Kobe mindset. Which at the end of the day, yeah, you can be mad at him, but that is life. That's just like on our 9-to-5 jobs. What they tell you straight up, you may not like it, but they tell you leave your crap at home. You come to work, you here to do a job. Yeah. And the same thing on the basketball court for them. That's their job. So it's like, yeah, you got your personal stuff going on. We all do. Right. I mean, come on now. Kobe, like, dude, I done played through being charged with assault. I done played, still gave my all. So come on now. Whatever you got going on, it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I say, he was hard, but he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, he earned my respect.
Yeah, he executed with like a militance about himself.
Yeah.
He was very disciplined. That's what separates a lot of people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan from, other people, because their passion became an obsession.
Yeah.
They're not just passionate about it, they're obsessed with what they do. They repeat the same movements and same moves and work on small little intricate details about their game or about their plan. They work on that daily, every day. They're obsessed with what they do, and that's what separates people from each other, period. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a business standpoint, like only some people can achieve that level of focus where they're overly passionate and become obsessed with what they do every day. A lot of people take for granted the opportunities we have and the platforms we have, and wherever the case may be, we take that stuff for granted. But some people, they really put their 110% into what they do, and that's a beautiful quality to have about a person.
Oh yeah, definitely. I pray and would love to be one of those type people.
Yeah. Well, we all got it in us. We just gotta activate it, right?
You just gotta get tired of yourself sometimes.
Oh yeah, ain't that the truth for
when you
sure,
get tired of yourself, it
Yeah.
motivates you to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
You're sick of your own shit.
Yeah, I think I posted something like, be greater than your excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we make all these excuses as why we can't get something done, why we can't do this, why we don't want to do that. And all that stuff that we saying we don't want to do and we're setting limitations on, that's what's keeping us from our success. Whatever everybody's success is different, right?
Yeah.
Each level is different for each person. But whatever it is, you just got to stop saying what you can and can't do and just do it.
Yeah.
That's step number one. Do it.
Yeah.
You may fail, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Because then, and when you fail, you'll take something away from that. Yeah. When you do it again, it's less likely that you'll fail again.
Yeah.
Or maybe you will fail again.
You
know what I'm saying?
Hopefully you won't fail as hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody fails more than a successful person.
There you go.
Successful people fail more than anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd rather fail than to not have tried at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I failed at a lot of things in life, but you can't let that deter you from pushing on.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. Like, for real. We really, really, really got to stop this. But, man, I don't even know where to start. I got so much black greatness up on the screen right now. Because you know what month it is, y'all, in case y'all don't know? It's Black History Month, y'all.
Yes.
And, I used to hate this. Like, growing up, it's like, okay, why do we only have 1 month where we celebrate Black History? To be honest, we should celebrate it every single day. Just like any other race, religion, or culture, you should celebrate what you love every day. And so it shouldn't just be this 1 month. But I like the fact that we're highlighted in this month, not going to lie.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as most of us can see in the world today, so many black people are doing so many amazing and great things. I mean, from an average level to a million and $billion status. I mean, we have black billionaires, we have black millionaires, we have black people that are out in the community that are average, that are making a real difference. And I'm just so grateful and thankful to be alive in an era of time when all this beautiful greatness is going on. And in order for me to really explain to you what I mean, there's so much of our history still in 2020 that we still don't know about because one, you don't know what to search, you don't know what to look up, and number two, it wasn't taught to you in school. Maybe you heard about a few of the heroes that we had, like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. What's the man who used the axe who died of a heart attack because he axed through the Underground Railroad that he was trying to create? I forget his last name. Mm-hmm. His first name was Henry, I believe. Mm-hmm. But he died by the axe. And he proved a point that he was strong enough to, axe through and pick away at that rock barehanded. He was faster than a machine. That was the objective. And so, like most of you guys know, growing up, black men especially have always been portrayed as physically more sound than probably any other race on the planet, to be honest. But what we want to work on moving forward is bringing that mental up to that physical fitness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I really appreciate people who have been out there in the world advocating for better systems to be in place for our kids, especially to learn from a young age growing up. Because if you lose them at a young age, it's so much of a task. It's difficult, right? To try to get people to understand their greatness when they become 18, 19, 20 years old. When you embed it in them at a young age and they know their potential, then they're more likely to get out there and just go for it. They don't need an extra push. They know who they are. When we help our kids to know who they are at an early age, because a lot of us had to find ourselves in our adulthood. And I do notice that a lot of our men are physically strong, but mentally weak. And that's the same applies for our females too in our race. And we all know why. I won't even go there yet, but I just wanted to throw that out there because we definitely need to keep that in mind. As an adult, we have to make sure that we're always challenging ourselves mentally, always trying to consume information that we need to make us better people, for not just for ourselves, but for our families, for our, if we have kids, for our kids, if we have younger siblings, for our younger siblings. Give them something to look up to. Give them something to say, you know what, my big brother or my big sister is out here living their dream. They may have to work a 9 to 5, but they're still doing exactly what they said they were going to do when they reach that age. I want to be that, and I want to be more than that. So we just definitely have to keep leading by example and setting those great tones and examples and those illustrations of what we can become if we stay consistent. If we stay head fast and steady on whatever dream or mission it is that we're on. Don't give up, because life is not easy. I don't care who you are. And don't be fooled by commercials, movies and TV and things like that, because that stuff just isn't real. I just read the other day some lady, I forget her name, but she's in the UK. She was a beautiful actress, killed herself because she caught an assault case from her boyfriend. She's a white actress, but I can't think of her name. But you would assume from the outside everything looked spectacular. You know what I mean? Like everything looked normal. Everything seemed like she had it going on, and she really did have it going on. But that one negative thing in her life took her out. So that's what I mean by we have to be mentally strong. And then for our case, in our culture, it's totally different. Like, it's a whole nother ball game. But, some of our people catch assault cases every day. I'm not going to even go there. Yeah. And you don't see us offing ourselves. So I'm just saying, everybody can take at different levels of stress is my point. Yeah. So if we learn how to cope, we learn how to communicate. I think communication is like key.
Oh, yeah. Communication is major things. Yeah. A lot of things.
Yeah, like for so many, like not just relationships, your family, your relationship with your family, you know what I mean? And also like getting rid of hurt. A lot of us growing up, we've dealt with a lot of pain, we dealt with a lot of disappointment, we dealt with a lot of insecurity, we dealt with a whole, like, girl, the list goes on. We just have to learn to talk about it, release. You may have to talk about it for years. Yeah. But you have to start somewhere. It's just like what we said earlier, you got to do. Yeah. You just gotta do. So anyway, enough of me preaching. I just want to quickly go over some of the black inventors that we had here in the American country that you may or may not have heard of. So you guys know, what do we turn on in the summertime when it's hot in Houston?
The AC.
Okay, so that was a black inventor by the name of Frederick Jones in 1949. Wow. So let me tell you, all you racist people out there, if you don't like us, turn off the AC that we created for you, and you just go use that window fan, okay? All right, moving on. So now, when you study growing up, I don't know about you guys, but I used the encyclopedia. I used like all these different things because I didn't have Google. We didn't have Google. So guess who created the almanac?
Oh, yeah, Benjamin Banneker.
Yes, you hit it.
One of the greatest inventors of the black people.
I don't think a lot of people know that. He was a black man in 1791.
He did a lot of stuff. He laid out he helped lay out create the layout for Washington D.C.
Look at that.
He was self-educated. He taught himself astrology and astronomy.
Wow.
What else he did?
See?
He did. He made the first fully
It's
functioning.
funny, he has his name right. Look at that.
Yeah.
In alignment. We did not have a conversation about this, by the way, did we? That's wild.
Yeah. He was considered as one of the first black intellectuals in America. He sent his first almanac to Thomas Jefferson when he was like the Secretary of State. Like Benjamin Banneker did a lot, and he was mentioned in the school. Like when I was growing up, he was mentioned, but not
really
as
go into him.
Yeah,
But see, the
don't
question
learn as much as
is
we
why?
should.
Why wouldn't you? It's the almanac. Like it's the almanac. Why wouldn't you talk about this?
Yeah.
This is exactly why I'm going through this list.
Yeah.
You have any more greatness on him?
I mean, he was, to me, the greatest accomplishment was him being self-educated. It's like, it's one thing if he was like somebody like,
A scholar or something.
yeah, like he went to school, got
Yeah.
formal education, but he self-educated himself. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the school system doesn't talk about him much, because then they don't have to admit that self-education could make you more powerful than
Thank
our
you.
institutions can.
Come on and break the
Oh,
ties
yeah.
now.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah. That's
Come
a
on,
whole
pull the
other-
strings loose.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject. Somebody ain't
Yeah.
gonna like you. Some educators ain't gonna like you for that one.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and zone in on that empowerment moment
Yeah.
brought to you by Tribelife 10. What he's saying to you guys is that you do not need 13 degrees to feel like you're intelligent. You can self-educate yourself. In fact, we promote that. All three of us promote that.
I mean, hey, a lot of us, that's what we are. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. That's what you're doing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny too, because that was pretty much the sermon in church today was, taking that little bit that you have and working with it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And letting God, and that's how God turns it into more, just like
Yeah.
He did with the fish and 3 loaves of bread.
Yes, come
So
on now.
you start from somewhere, showing yourself something, doing pretty much like Kobe did. Once again, like he did, he watched videos to get greater. Another great example. He not black, but he's a great example. Tom Brady.
Yes.
Like he was like.
And he's awesome. I
Yes,
watched
he
him
was,
play.
like,
Yeah.
way back in the draft. Like a lot of people forget that he was not a first round
Right.
draft pick.
Nah.
But he
And look at Tom Brady now.
That's what I'm saying. He read, he studied his craft. He kept
Self-taught.
going. Yes, self-taught. Once
Self-motivated.
again. Yes, if you believe in yourself. I ain't went to no culinary school, but I bet you doggone you will know Nikki's House of Cheese.
I know that's right. See, and it starts with that confidence within, and that's we working on it. We've been working on it for a whole year now. We will keep on going.
Hey, we're
Okay,
making great progress.
we are. We
Hey,
are.
I know I can say for myself, this program, hey, it has made great progress for me to do the show. So I can just imagine if you're listening and watching us on a constant basis, you have to be growing.
Yep.
Yeah. And just like you had said, sometimes we don't take advantage of what we do have. We always thinking and worrying about what we don't have, what we need to get to the next level. But one of the things that make inventors or make them great is they take the little things that they do have and they use that to their advantage. That's what makes black people special people, because we make a lot out of nothing.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, come on now, because we ain't.
It's the truth, too.
Because our culture, our background, our ancestors did not have a whole lot to begin with. But you
In this country.
Yeah.
In the country from which we're from, they had a lot.
Exactly.
And they
Amen.
do still have a lot. Yeah.
You sure right. Amen. Amen to that. But here in America,
Yeah.
you're right. Let me be specific.
We got stripped away from that.
Yes, it's sad but true. We got stripped away from that.
And for people who still don't understand that concept of why are they still talking about slavery? Why are they always talking about race? Because, let's see, majority of the conversation is still about race here in this country. Also, let's be realistic. A lot of what we're still suffering and dealing with every day is because of the remnants of slavery.
Yeah.
Like what came of it. This is the aftermath, what you see in 2020. And I think we're doing damn good given the circumstances and the situations that some of our ancestors had to go through. But at the end of the day, there are going to still be people that are angry, because think about it. What if it happened to you? So you should always ask yourself that, what if it happened to you? I'm actually currently writing a book right now, and I can't wait till I release it, because it's going to help people to understand it from the black experience. And it's almost impossible for you to, but it challenges you and it promotes you to at least try to think that way. So that way you can better relate to us
Yeah.
And we also need to try to better relate to them, because we have to understand that they aren't the people who did that to our ancestors.
And we don't even want to just talk about other races, because unfortunately, there are some of our own black people who don't understand.
Oh, absolutely.
Why do we keep bringing this up? Why are we still talking about reparations? I mean, I didn't understand for a while, honestly, until I got educated, until I allowed myself to be educated, as we've been talking about self-education.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to gain knowledge and understand, like, that's old to us.
Yeah, I think one of the most poorly advised misconceptions today is that, oh, well, you know what? I don't feel sorry for this person because they just want to live off of welfare and food stamps and the government. And while some of that may be true, I won't even use the word maybe. While some of that is true, understand where exactly it comes from.
Exactly.
Because if you go down that lineage, maybe the grandparents were struggling.
Yeah.
The great grandparents and the great grandparents had absolutely nothing. Not everybody came out on top once the slaves were free. Yeah. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest.
Exactly.
Some people were dealt a worse hand than others. So that's not to give anybody an excuse, because you have the opportunity to start over again. You have an opportunity to recondition your mind, but only if you're taught to do so. So if you're not, even that has to be a form of conditioning. If you guys are following with me.
Even something simple, I realized too, even in my own upbringing, is exposure. If you're never exposed to anything else,
exactly,
it's something simple as your household is on food stamps, but your mama and your mom has a good friend who is not on food stamps. Who, if nothing else, the family look like they got it together. That's exposure. Instead of you being intimidated or envious of that person's lifestyle, you have no idea what you could be doing for your child.
Exactly.
If that person wants to be friends with you, y'all being friends.
Right.
I mean, that's another issue too. Like you say, besides conditioning your mind, allowing yourself to be conditioned, and just exposure. I'll leave it after this. T.D. Jakes, he talked about this one time. How this is how you create also change. Is by, hey, a rich and a poor person, and some people don't like it. Of course, back in the day, certain races didn't like it when their neighborhoods became integrated. But it once again gave exposure.
Oh, yeah.
It gave exposure.
I think it's important that we learn to relate to each other, and then that will help eliminate these biases and boundaries that we keep setting up between. Because at this point, it's ridiculous, right? Yeah. Oh, but I'll also quickly say that I think it's important that instead of us always depending, that we start initiating and doing for ourselves. And that applies from the top down, from a classism standpoint. So you have some people who make a lot more than others, and it trickles down. But even the people who are at the bottom, they have to start thinking in the mindset, there's so many ways to make money now.
Yeah, but
from my cell phone.
Once you say conditioning, you got to condition.
And that's why I put that out there in the atmosphere for those that are listening. So, okay, let me go, because I still have so many inventors. So, the auto cutoff switch, Granville T. Woods in 1839. The auto fishing device, Mr. George Cook invented that in 1899. Baby buggy, William H. Richardson created that in 1889. Biscuit cutter, come on biscuits and gravy, Alexander P. Ashburn in 1875. Blood plasma bag.
Oh, that's what I do for guys.
Exactly. Charles Drew, in 1945 invented it. Chamber commode. That's Thomas Elkins, 1897. I can't wait to
go to work with this information tomorrow, but go ahead.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving it. Clothes dryer, y'all. I just used mine before I came here. George T.
Right now,
exactly. George T. Sampson, 1971. The curtain rod. I just took my curtain rod down today, actually.
I need a new one.
Yeah, Samuel R. Scrotron. That's a hard last name to say. He invented the curtain rod in 1892. The curtain rod support was invented by another black man named William S. Grant in 1896, just 4 years later. The doorknob. We use the doorknob everywhere, y'all.
I learned that last year,
Osborne Dorsey in 1878. The doorstep. Osborne Dorsey, 1878. I wonder who made the door ramp. You know how they pave it out for the wheelchair. The egg beater. Willie Johnson, 1884. Now, at my house, we don't have an egg beater. We just beat the egg ourselves, Like, I don't know. Maybe it's for you fancy people out there. Moving on. Electric lamp bulb. Louis Latimer. I knew about him in 1882. The elevator. We're going to talk about the elevator next. on the next topic. Alexander Miles, 1867. The eye protector. I think they're talking about the eye patch, maybe. Eye protector. Oh, maybe goggles?
Maybe some goggles or something.
I need to look that up more. Okay, so eye protector, Powell Johnson in 1880. Fire escape ladder. Look at all this important information and instruments that we need.
That people of all races use.
The firefighters use it all the time. Fire escape ladder. Joseph W. Winters, 1878. Fire extinguisher. That's in every building that you ever walk into. The Leonard C. Bailey, 1899. The folding chair. How convenient. Nathaniel Alexander, 1911. The fountain pen. Walter B. Purvis in 1890. The furniture caster. David A. Fisher, 1878. The gas mask. Used by all military personnel. Wow. Garrett Morgan in 1914.
And then do you also have that he created something else?
Not sure.
He also created the three-way traffic light.
Oh, that's the Garrett Morgan. Okay. 1914. Wow. Golf tee. Oh, there's a lot of golfers out there. The golf tee was created by George T. Grant in 1899. The guitar. Robert F. Fleming Jr. in 1886. The hairbrush. Everybody has to brush their hair. No matter if you got a little something, you're gonna brush it, right? Lydia O. Newman in 1898. The hand stamp. Walter B. Purvis in 1883. The ice cream scoop. And they had a horrible racist song about ice cream towards blacks, and yet we created the ice cream scoop.
Wow.
In 1897, Alfred Crowley, the insect destroyer gun. Albert Richardson in 1899. The ironing board. Everybody had an ironing board growing up. Sarah Boone in 1887. The keychain. When you go out of town or you go out into another country,
you always want to buy a keychain.
You get that souvenir. The keychain was invented by Frederick J. Loudon in 1894. The lantern. Come on, back in the day. They needed that. Yeah, Michael C. Harvey. I'm almost done, y'all. Lawn sprinkler. For all you fancy folks out there that have nice acreage, you want to thank John H. Smith, and he invented that in 1897. The lemon squeezer. Again, that's a little too fancy for me. I bought one and I said, why did I buy this? I squeeze my own lemons. But anyway, thank you, Mr. John White.
My mama used that to make us fresh lemonade. Every now and then, she would make us fresh lemonade.
Girl, you should see me. I squeeze all those lemons by hand. John Thomas White in 1893 created the lemon squeezer. The lock. Y'all know we got thieves out here all day, every day. But Washington A. Martin in 1893 created